Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome everyone. Welcome. This is your host, Seer Aldron Enoch. God bless you. God bless you. God richly indeed bless you. God exalts you. God answers your prayers. And God exalts you beyond your thoughts and imagination. Welcome to the Prophetic Podcast. Aldron Sermons, you're with me. And you already know the productivity that awaits you, even as you've started listening to this podcast, even to the end. There's something in store for you, even in this prophetic message that I have released just for you, for none other than you. God bless you. God bless you. We thank God indeed for a highly productive year 2025 and a lot of groundbreaking achievements through this prophetic podcast in this year. A lot of reaches. We reached a lot of people, a lot of hearts, a lot of listeners, and we give God the glory for that. I'm thankful also to Spotify Wrapped for highlighting the successes of the prophetic podcast this year. We were able to reach 4 main countries, as was highlighted by Spotify. The Gambia, Sweden, United States of America, and Spain. Wonderful, wonderful indeed how the gospel has reached that extent. You see, you can't limit the extent to which the gospel can reach. And it has been wonderful indeed. There are actually other countries that we were able to reach, even in West Africa, like Sierra Leone, Nigeria. We were able to reach those countries. But according to Spotify, they were able to highlight only these 4 main countries. And I know some people from United States that have actually reached out to declare the impact of the prophetic podcast. And we give God the praise, we give God the glory for what he has been doing. Stay tuned indeed, because we expect to reach more nations, to reach more listeners. By the way, it was this year that we were also recognized by Spotify for reaching 5,000 listeners. We're talking about an overall of 5,000 listeners ever since we started the podcast. And that is indeed amazing. That shows that we are doing a great job. That shows that this show is going everywhere. It's going everywhere. People are listening to it. People are being impacted. You have absolutely no idea. In the group chat, there is feedback that shows that there is prophetic impact by the Spirit of God, by the Word of God, and there is prophetic alignment being done, and we give God the praise and we give God the glory. And great news. For those of you who are linking me up concerning my new book, and I'm glad indeed that you contacted me concerning that, and I'm glad indeed you contacted me concerning that, because I posted that on the page. My social media handles have that information. They've seen the flyer, and it's my new book on angels. Yes, it's my new book on angels, titled The Nature of the Angels. And interestingly, for you guys, because I love you guys, I will release a podcast, a detailed one, taking you through a brief explanation on my material, on the book material, which is going to give you an introduction so that you can want to get it. And it's for sale, by the way, but I'm sure it's going to be affordable for anyone who wants to be impacted by that masterpiece. And it's on angels. It's a prophetic expose. It's a prophetic revelatory work that I was giving the go-ahead to release. I had been writing it since last year, and now it is released, and it is, for now, is only the e-copy that is available for online readers. So you just get ready for something wonderful through that book. Great revelation, great release of divine information concerning the angelic realm, concerning the nature of angels. Everything is going to be on that book. But you know what I'm thinking? I'm definitely going to release an episode concerning the book just to introduce you people into the spirit of the book, so that you can get an introduction that will definitely water your desire to get the book. Yes, it's The Nature of Angels by Seer Aldron Enoch. You don't want to miss that. Yeah, we're entering a prophetic season, and I'm telling you this prophetically, whereby there's going to be a lot of angelic activities. Even prior to the end of this year, 2025, there's going to be a lot of angelic activities. And you know, as I've talked to you guys already on the page concerning angels are couriers, heavenly couriers, and they are released to bring down packages from God, answers from God. They are released to bring what God has destined for you. Angels propagate the will of God to man from heaven, and you must understand that you must be tied to angelic partnership. You must be tied to angelic partnership wheresoever you are. I'm talking about geographical location. I'm talking about in whatsoever season of life you are. Angels must be involved in whatsoever you're doing, because of what the Bible says. The Bible calls them ministering spirits that are sent to minister for us. So you must make use of that resource that has been given to us freely by reason of Christ. Now, today I'm talking about something very special. Are you called by God? That's what I'm dealing with today. And I wanna just target that and shoot that right now by the Spirit. I want to just reveal that to us right now. And I want to speak to you, my dear listener. And it's a question indeed. Are you called by God? If it is that you are called by God, listen to me, and I'm talking to you prophetically. If it is that you are called by God, there is no pressure. There is no standard against you. There is no blockade against you. There is only elevation. I'm speaking to you prophetically. If it truly is that you are called by God, there is only elevation. I'll tell you why. And I'm going to speak to you by the Spirit of God. And I'm going to tell you this. If it is that you are called by God, you are justified by the one who has called you. If it is that you have been called by God, you don't have to look at your past and begin to say, oh Lord, because my past is like this, I'm not qualified to be sent by you. One thing I like about men in the Bible, there were men like Gideon. I love Gideon. There were men like Moses. There were men like Paul. Gideon said to God, when God said, I want to use you, he said, I am from the least. I am the least in my family, and my tribe is the least in Israel. But God did not say, because of all this, I will not choose you. That was actually the qualification that qualified the unqualified. Now, you have to understand what I'm saying. If you are called by God, you are called because you were never qualified. But the mentality of man is that they are supposed to be qualified before they do something in the kingdom. But before a tree grows, the tree is first in the soil. And the tree is first without value or without relevance. But it has been called to become a tree. But when it was in the soil, it was a seed. In the same way, you have to understand that God never chooses a man and calls a man for greatness who was qualified by himself. And you see, there is a pattern, and this is for you, my brother, this is for you, my sister, that is called. You believe you have a calling, there's a calling upon your life. There is a mandate, there is a vision that you are holding. Some of you, as I'm speaking to you, these are visions that you had, that you wrote down. You have not even told it to anybody, but it's just with you. It's just in your belly. It's just written down somewhere. You've written them down. You've not shared it with anybody, not even your wife, not even your brother. But now let me tell you something. Let me tell you the attitude you must have. Because there's an attitude that Gideon had. There's an attitude that Moses had. There's an attitude that men like Paul had. Paul called himself the least of all apostles. And I love that attitude. And I want you to imitate that attitude. That is the attitude that lifts men and qualifies men who are unqualified. There was an attitude that Moses had. Moses was talking to God and he said, who am I to go before Pharaoh? There's an attitude that they had. So when we talk about men like Gideon, and that's also something you're supposed to identify. Gideon never stood before God as a man who was qualified for the assignment, but he stood before him as a man who was unqualified. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, God will choose the unlikely candidate for his assignment. And I know it has been tough, and I know it has been rough. Things have happened to even challenge your own calling, to even doubt the God that has called you. But you must understand that it is not only to you it has happened to. Men like Gideon faced it. Men like Moses faced it. Men like Jonah faced it. You see, some people don't get it, but I say this about Jonah. Jonah was a wise man. Jonah was wise to run away from God, even though he was also unwise. I'll make you understand my point. Because some people may have already started misunderstanding what I'm trying to say. Let me explain. You cannot fulfill a vision without provision. Let me repeat that again. You cannot fulfill the vision of God without the provision of God. Now, Jonah was told by God, I've called you as a prophet. I'm sending you to the people of Nineveh. And he refused. And he went on the ship and went elsewhere. Guess what? God became angry. And he stirred up a tempest. And he prepared. Most of you see that fish, that big fish, as a punishment. But you see, you're seeing it only one-sided now. You're only seeing it as a punishment. But God saw it as a transportation, as a means of transport. Maybe you didn't get what I just said. God saw it as a means of transport. Why? Because the Bible tells us that the fish on the third day, after Jonah was held captive in the stomach of the fish, the Bible tells us that the fish swam to the shore of Nineveh and vomited Jonah to the shore. Now, if that's not means of transport, what is? That's the best transport. That's divine transport. God talked to the fish and commanded the fish, and the fish said, yes, Lord, I obey you. Now, Jonah was in the fish, and God was able to transport him to that place. Now, some of you are wondering when your call is about to manifest, yet a man like Jonah was running away from the call, and yet his call manifested. Maybe you guys are not getting this. Maybe you guys are not getting this. You see, the problem of most young people who have a calling, who are called by God, is that the problem they have is that they are too overconfident. Yet, when we observe men in the Bible, and I'm speaking to you, brother, that has a calling over your life. I'm speaking to you. They are so overconfident, but yet men in the Bible were never confident about a calling. No. They ran away from God. And God also ran after them and said, where do you think you're going? I'm using you, whether you want me to use you or not. That's the attitude men of our generation lack. They are chasing after a platform that they are not even built to manifest in. They're not even built to talk in. And then they mess up and they blame it on God. Yet God is the one who had to convince a man like Jeremiah. He said, Jeremiah, I've called you as a prophet, even from your mother's womb. He said, I've ordained you as a prophet to the nations. You're waiting for an ordination, but God told Jeremiah, I've ordained you as a prophet to the nations. Yet Jeremiah said, Lord, I cannot speak because I am a child. But what did God say? God did not say, Jeremiah, since you have said you're not going, I'm going to send someone else. No. God told Jeremiah, do not say that you are a child. God convinced Jeremiah of his calling. The problem that you have, the reason why your calling has not manifested, you are the one trying to convince God to use you. Yet men who are wise don't convince God to use them, but God convinces them to be used by him. I hope this is not so big for you to take now. When God appeared to Moses, what did Moses say? Did Moses say, Lord, give me the glory of an angel? You know, when you read other books of Moses, there's a book of Moses which I don't want to talk about, but since it's the Moses that is in the Bible I'm talking about, there's a book of Moses that said Moses was a man who was equal with the glory of an angel. So the way, that's why the Bible said, were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses, who I speak to face to face? That word there, never mind. But I'm speaking to you now. The glory of God is about coming on you, but you must humble yourself before God. I'm speaking to you now. I'm prophesying to you now. The glory of God is about coming upon you, but you have to humble yourself before God. You see, Moses was a man who had the glory equal to that of an angel. But yet, even when God called him, he said, who am I to stand before Pharaoh? Moses showed his weaknesses to God, not his confidence, because he knew the God he stood before. He gave all the excuses, and God gave him the power to overcome his weakness. This is the problem with our generation today. When they believe, when they're confident that they have a call, they go beyond ahead of time, and they're not even fully equipped, not by man now, because it's not man that equipped you, because it's not man that called you. They are not fully equipped by God to go into that calling, and they have problems and they blame it on God, because God is the one that called them. And if it is God that called you, remember, if it is the vision of God, there must be the provision of God. And if there's no provision of God, wait for the vision to mature. And if there's a vision, there's a mission. You can't be with a vision and not be on a mission. You must understand that. But guess what? You see, these men who stand out as patriarchs, you must learn from them. They are the people you must observe. You must learn from them. What did Paul say? He said, I'm the least of all the apostles. Yet Paul would confidently say, he said, he was not taught by man, but he was taught by Jesus himself. Yet Paul, he confidently said that he glories in his infirmities. Why? You see, look at the way these men talk, and you know that there's a great vision that they have that has been given to them by God. Yeah, because I'm speaking to you by the Spirit, and I'm seeing that there's a call upon your life. But you have to find your partner first. I'm talking about you have to marry first. But if you don't marry, you're not going to be fully equipped for the call. So, and you see, you have to understand, even in some people's lives, the reason why they are calling delay is because they have been given things to face. They are pillars of things to face that have been put there by life and intentionally by God, so that they can have the fortitude by reason of defeating them. So there are things that are in your life that are standing as blockades, that are standing as trouble, but you have to defeat them. Why? Because in that place you're going, that destination that is with your calling, you're going to face similar things, and you're going to be a steward, and you must be toughened, and you must be prepared to handle more of them in the future. But I'm speaking to you by the authority of the Spirit now. This trouble you're facing, this thing that you have been angry about, stop being angry about it. Because I see that even from that offense and even from that thing that you have been so angry about, you have been so aggravated about concerning your calling and concerning your life, it is used to just open a door of maturity to you. You just sit down and relax. You just sit back and relax. All of these things that has happened in your life are just to mature you. Even the relationships, they are just to mature you. Because I'm speaking to you prophetically by the Spirit of God and by the Spirit, and I see that there's a calling upon your life, but there's a certain level it's going to reach in the coming months and in the coming years. You're going to be confident of what God has called you, because you've been praying, and it seems as if your prayers have been cut short because you've not seen the profitability of your prayer. But I see a light dawning and descending to be given to you. I see a light from heaven. It's coming your way. I'm speaking to you. Yes, you. Sister, it's coming your way. Yes, you. Brother, it's coming your way. There is a door. There's a door you have to enter, a door of maturity. A door of maturity. You're being groomed. You're evolving. You're growing so that you can be able to be matured to handle the assignment that has been given to you. I'm speaking to you by the Spirit of God. If you are called by God, are you called by God? And yes, I believe you are called by God. And if you are called by God, you will be justified by the one who has called you. Don't worry about your past. Don't worry about your weaknesses, your emotional weaknesses, your mental weaknesses, your physical deformities. Don't worry about the offenses. Don't worry about the financial predicaments. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the means of transport. Don't worry about how to get to that nation, to that continent. You're in Africa and God has sent you to Britain. You're in Africa, God has sent you to the United States of America. You're in Africa, God has sent you to South America. Don't worry about the means of transport. God is going to provide. Don't worry about the visa. Don't worry about the transportation. You know where you're supposed to be in the next 5 years. You know where you're supposed to be in the next 3 years. And I prophesy to you in the name of Jesus, knowledge, wisdom, light. I see your heart being enlightened so that you can know the calling of God concerning your life. And if you're listening to me and you don't know the call of God concerning your life, you don't know what God intends to use you for, there is light right now. Even as I speak, as you are under the influence of the sound of my voice, I speak light to your path in the name of Jesus. God bless you. Light is yours, and you are established prophetically in the call of God concerning your life. There's prophetic alignment. Even as I speak to you, I speak divine alignment into your life. The grace of God comes upon you like dew from heaven. It comes strongly. It wets you and it makes you immersed in God's glory. I see you being lifted like a man put in a helicopter and taken from his location to a higher location. I see you ascending into the clouds. I see you being lifted by the Spirit of God. Don't worry about where you are. Don't worry. You have passed your level of being as a seed. You are ascending from the soil. You are ascending as a nursery plant. Even beyond, you're ascending as a plant. You're going. You're like that tree that reaches into the heavens. God bless you. Strength is given to you. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried about the trouble. Don't be worried about your anger and what you're worried about. Don't focus on it. It's not important. Focus on God. Focus on the right thing. And as I said before, I say again, there is a door of maturity being opened. You must enter it. God bless you. Share the link. Share it to your partner, your wife. Share it to that partner of yours in ministry. Share it to that colleague of yours in that evangelical outreach you're going to. Share it to that prophet, that young prophet that's growing in the prophetic. Share it to that pastor will need it. Share it to that believer. Share it to that deacon. Share it to that usher. God bless you. There is a plan of God concerning your life, and you must be involved with God to know that plan, to know every aspect of that plan, so that you can come up on top, so you can be on top and not beneath. God bless you. Have a nice day.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.